Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. I'm John Beltran now for Game 2 of this doubleheader. Skyline won the opening game 9-2. Now keep in mind, Skyline will be the home team. They'll be the home team for Game 2. So Charlie Langford will hit first. And we'll have the baseball movie quotes that we talked about earlier attributed to Game 2 as well. As soon as we get everything settled into our scorecard. From the right-hander swung on and fouled off to the right. That is Grayson Gomez. And I think Langford is applauding. He might have taken out an automobile. I don't know. No balls and one strike here to Charlie Langford. All right, so we're going to start that list all over again. The pitch, fastball is low from Grayson Gomez. 1 ball and 1 strike. All right, for Charlie's movie quote for Game 2. And he was the winner of the Game 1 movie quote with that sparkling defensive play from Pride of the Yankees. Here's the wind and the pitch, and that fastball's in the dirt. So for Game 2, let's see what we've got for, I got to get to the right screen here. 2 balls and 1 strike, and the pitch, and that one bounces in. Well, if they walk him, he's not going to be really eligible here. All right, it's for the movie Bull Durham. Throw some ground balls. It's more democratic. That'll be the movie quote attributed to Charlie. 3-1 pitch. Fastball, a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. For the right-hander, Grayson Gomez. He was the third baseman in the opening game. A game won by Skyline, 9-2. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on and drilled into the right center field gap, and to his right, reaching up and dropping the ball is Connor Ormsby, and now Langford to second. That should have been caught, and Ormsby, in disgust, takes his cap and his glove off and throws it into the ground. That's going to be scored an error. It was hit hard, but should have been caught. He was right there. Here is Trey Romero. His movie quote for the movie 61, the fans pay your salary, Ralph. And again, we explained what's in play with a baseball movie quote of the game for a chance to win a voucher, a food voucher to a future Mustang home game. Trey Romero had a good first game, and the pitch is a strike. Romero did have a base hit. In fact, he was on base 3 times. He was hit by a pitch, and he walked. The stretch for the right-hander and the offering. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Starting lineup by the Mustangs, brought to you by Buildings by Design. Same lineup as the previous game. We'll run through the hitters as the game wears along. 6:43, first pitch. Yeah, we knew it would not be at 6 o'clock. And the offering, and that bounces in. What a block there by Gutierrez. 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll set the defense as well. For Skyline. Looking back, Langford with a lead. Swung on and driven in the air to right center field. And coming in, both outfielders converge. The catch is made by Ormsby. Back to second as Langford, 1 down. Ball was hit off the end of the bat by Romero. I thought it had more distance, but not enough there. Here's David Keller. He had a big RBI double in the first game. Movie quote for Keller from the movie Major League. Come on, Dorn, get in front of the ball. I had to skip a word there. Runner at second, 1 out. The pitch, and bounces in. Gutierrez making some nice scoops there. 1 ball and no strikes to David Keller. Just underway, game 2. Skyline had a couple of 2-run homers in the first game and won 9-2. The pitch over, but low with a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. To David Keller on deck as Jason Diaz, followed by Noah Aguirre. Mustangs only had 2 hits until the 7th inning of game 1. The pitch swung on line. That'll be caught by the second baseman, Trosper. No throw to second. Back to second is Langford. Line drive off the end of the bat as well there by David Keller.
Now batting for the Mustangs, number 4, Jason Diaz.
Diaz will now step in. Diaz in the first game was 0 for 2. Runner going, swung on and lifted foul, out of play. That would have been an easy stolen base for Langford. He had a huge jump. A little bit of a different lineup for this game. Tyler Baker caught game 1. Jason Diaz catching game 2. The stretch with 2 down and a man at second. The pitch swung on and fisted in the air, foul, and out of play off to the right. No balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the first game took 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2 minutes longer than the Rockies took to play 9 innings today in a 1-0 victory for their home opener over the Nationals. No balls, 2 strikes to Jason Diaz. The Mustangs are the visiting team because they were supposed to be playing this game on Tuesday in Longmont. And, of course, the weather postponed it till today. 0-2. Looking back, the pitch. Breaking ball is up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still trying to decide if it's too cold or not cold enough to wear a heavy jacket. Right now, I've taken off the heavy jacket, the ski jacket. 1-2. The pitch, runner going up and in. The throw to third on a bounce, and it skips away into left field. Langford gets up. He's going to score on the throwing error by Gutierrez. Give him a stolen base as well. And the Mustangs had their first lead of the day. It's 1-0. Just anything to get some momentum. So 1-0, and Langford reached on the air by the right fielder Ormsby. On that line drive, the pitch swung on and fisted foul, out of play off to the right. Count remains at 2-2 to Jason Diaz. See if we have time to give you the rest of the lineup. Followed by Aguirre, Chase Redding, Joseph Layden, Jaden Carrera, Chase Romero will play center in this game and hit 9th. Here's the wind, a 2-2 pitch. Fastball is upstairs. I've got 3-2. The board says 2-2. Well, one of us is going to be wrong. I've got 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yep, it's 3-2 with 2 down and the base is empty. And the offering. And he bounces that one in, and Gomez walks. Jason Diaz for Noah Aguirre. Noah Aguirre's baseball movie quote, 8 men out. The quote is 29, is not 30, Eddie. And we'll have a courtesy runner at first. And the courtesy runner is Angel Lopez. Angel Lopez, the courtesy runner at first. And again, the winner of the baseball movie quote for Game 1 was Pride of the Yankees. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. And the first one to send me that email with that quote, and Charlie Langford, who made a great play. Charlie Langford, Pride of the Yankees, the quote to John at anycolorado.com with their name attached to it, their own name. We'll get a food voucher to a future game courtesy of yours truly. Inside at Noah Aguirre. And if not, we just keep working on it for the rest of the season. This will catch on eventually. 1-0. The pitch. Fastball inside. 2 balls and no strikes to Aguirre. Mustangs at 3-3 following the loss in Game 1. Skyline won for the first time this year, but a good baseball team. They played a lot of really tough teams out of state, then lost to Meade 10-8. Fastball for a strike down the middle, knee level. 2 balls and 1 strike. This is one of the more inexperienced teams the Mustangs have had. They were stacked with experience the last several seasons. The pitch swung on and fisted in the air to right field. Connor Ormsby comes in and makes the grab, and that's it. The Mustangs do score a run. They benefit via an error, and a man left to the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan 1, Skyline coming to bat on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. For Matt Lanier, who in that first game had a base hit scoring a run, then scored on the same play when the Mustangs threw the ball away twice. Now they've got to do something about that. And maybe a play's coming to the plate now for Fort Morgan. Out of the windup is David Keller. And the pitch swung on, hit high and deep into right center field. Way back, a dive, and it's over the glove of Chase Romero. That scores one. That scores two. Runner around third. Throw to the plate is over the glove of Jason Diaz. And now into third is Lanier. It'll be a bases clearing double, and Skyline leads 4-1 in the bottom of the first inning. And to third on the throw, on the errant throw, it'll be an error as well, scored on that relay throw. But it scored a 3-run double by Lanier. And here is Logan Trusper. That ball was hit very well. The pitch swung on line, base hit into right center field. And here comes Matt Lanier. And now the ball gets loose and now running into second. And in there with the RBI hit is Logan Trosper. It's 5-1. Here's Evan Gale. He had a 2-run homer. And that swung on, grounded up the middle. Langford behind the bag, gloves. Fields fires to first low, and then the ball skips away. Here comes another run as Logan Trosper scores, and into second is Evan Gale. That'll be scored an error on Langford. That's 3 miscues in the inning at 6-1. Here comes Josh Langford. No RBI in the play. Well, David Keller's pitching to contact, but you got to have some defensive support there, and that was just an errant throw. And Skyline has a 5-run lead in the bottom of the first inning. The big hit, the bases clearing double by Matt Lanier. And they're looking for the sweep after a 9-2 win in Game 1. Coach Langford trying to settle down the Mustangs, keep them in this game mentally, certainly. The inning began with a couple of walks, and then Skyline started swinging away. Skyline has 3 hits in the inning. The Mustangs, again, with 3 errors, some misplays and some missed throws. And J.D. Wright is now the hitter. Did not play in the first game. The stretch and the pitch. And that's outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to J.D. Wright. Mustangs are back in action coming up Saturday morning with Brian Nickel against Frederick on B106. Looking back at second. Pitch. Foul to the backstop. And the count is at 1-1. Jonathan Canars on deck, and the offering. Swing and a miss. Excellent breaking ball. Skyline has batted around in this first inning. 6 runs across, 1 on, 1 out. Here's the 9-hitter with a 1-2 count in J.D. Wright. Keller looking back. The pitch. Swung on, lifted into right center field. To his left is Chase Romero. He will make the grab. Runner tags at second. Gale heads to third. No throw, but there is 2 down. Mustangs needed that in the worst way.
Now, Falcons, number 2, Jonathan Canard.
Jonathan Kennard walked and scored earlier this inning. Stretch by Keller and the pitch. Fastball, a strike. Belt high, it's 0-1. For over 100 years, Premier Farm Credit has been providing affordable, reliable, and consistent credit. Visit PremierACA.com. The pitch in the dirt with a bender. And the count is at 1-1. Skyline's had a lot of extra base hits that have really paid off in this one. The pitch. Swung on line, base hit left field by Kennard. Scoring is Gale. 7 runs across in the bottom of the first inning. Kennard's on base for the second time in this frame. And Skyline leads 7-1.
Now back to the Falcons, number 9, Sam Carmona.
Here's Samuel Carmona. He walked and scored earlier in this inning. Actually, he was taken down at the plate on that nice throw by Keller when Diaz applied the tag. 1 ball and no strikes. Keller's 32 pitches deep in the first. The pitch outside with a heater. And the count is at 2-0. Short lead at first there for Kennard. He goes. Pitches a ball. The throw to second. Right there, the tag. And safe. He got around the tag, apparently, by Layden. And the count is also sitting, I believe, at 3-0. Did they call that a strike? No, I don't believe he called it a strike. Either way, it's a stolen base. Yeah, I've got it at 3-0. Keller stretches the pitch up and in, and there is a walk to Samuel Carmona, third base on ball, issued in the inning. Emilio Gutierrez will take off the shin guards, and he'll step to the plate.
Now batting for the Falcons, number 14, Emilio Gutierrez.
The 12th hitter of the inning for Skyline. Runners at first and second with 2 down. Gutierrez had a double. The offering. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. To Emilio Gutierrez. The stretch and the offering. And that's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. Excellent pitch. And the ball gets loose in the infield. And now taking off for third, the throw late. Well, that's another one that's scored an error, allowing the runner to get to third. 1 ball, 1 strike. The offering. Fastball is outside. 2-1. Yeah, Kennard took off for third when the ball got loose in the infield. Runners take their leads. The pitch in the dirt, blocked by Diaz. 3-1. Runners off their bases, and the 3-1 pitch outside and high as well. 4th walk issued, and the bases are reloaded for Connor Ormsby. Ormsby hit that little grounder that Keller fielded, and then Carmona was thrown out at the plate. Kennard third, Carmona at second, Gutierrez at first. Keller kicks and fires. Swung on and fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. Well, the Mustangs have any chance in this game, they've got to get this guy out. 7-1 is a big enough hole, but 9 or 10-1 seems insurmountable even in the first inning. The pitch, and that's a strike. Wow. Wow. That pitch looked pretty low from here, but the Mustangs catch a break, and Ormsby didn't he didn't see that coming. 0-2. Boy, that definitely looked like a ball. But Keller will take it. The pitch. Breaking ball went behind the hitter. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The lights are on in Fort Morgan. Connor Ormsby awaits the offering. Swung on, driven into center field, going back, still going back, and Chase Romero makes the catch on a line drive. Well played by the senior center fielder, and that ends the first inning. 7 runs on 4 hits. There were 4 errors, and the bases were left loaded. 1 inning in the books in Game 2. Skyline won Game 1 9-2 and leads 7-1 in Game 2 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
With Morgan County's B106.
John Beltran back with you. Let's head to inning number 2. And the lead is 7-1 for Skyline. Get back to our baseball movie quotes. Per Mustang hitter Chase Redding will lead off against right-hander Grayson Gomez. And from the movie 42, I Want a Player Who's Got the Guts Not to Fight Back. That'll be attributed to this at-bat by Chase Redding. Again, the winner in Game 1 was Charlie Langford with a diving play into shallow left field. And the movie quote, Pride of the Yankees, was the movie. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. So here is Redding. 6, 7, and 8. Redding was 0 for 3 in Game 1. Mustangs scored a run without a hit in the first inning. That line drive by Langford was dropped in right field, and the fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. To senior Chase Redding. The pitch, and that bounces in. 2 balls and no strikes. Here to Redding. Grayson Gomez. I don't think he's got the control Clifford does. And that one is low as well. 3-0. Man, if this could be a long one if both pitchers struggle to find the zone. Because Gomez, I mean, he allowed 1 run, but he was all over the place in the first inning. The pitch, and that one is high. It's a 4-pitch walk to Chase Redding, bringing up Joseph Layden from the movie Cobb. Baseball was 100% of my life. So that's the baseball movie quote attributed to Layden. We'll have a top 3 like we did in Game 1 and establish the winner. The stretch by Gomez. Throw back to first, back in diving is Redding. Yeah, nothing you can do, obviously, to try and defend a walk. It just prolongs games, especially in this weather. Swung on and lifted into shallow center field. Second baseman is out, boy, not even into center. The catch was made by Braden Hufford, 1 down. I thought that had a little bit of pop, but it never got beyond the infield. 1 out for Jaden Carrera, the freshman. Baseball was 100% of my life, the previous quote. Swung on line, base hit into center field for Carrera. Off the quote, you're Mickey Mantle for Christ's sake. Christ's sake, for the movie 61 now to the next hitter.
Senior, number 3, Chase Romero.
Chase Romero hitting for the first time today. Movie quote for him, Angels in the outfield. Let's keep the profanity down. That was for the manager. Knox, George Knox, played by Donald Glover. The stretch by Grayson Gomez. And the pitch bounces in, blocked by Gutierrez. 1 ball and no strikes. 7-1 Skyline, top of the second inning. The Mustangs have 2 on and 1 out. Matt Lanier had a bases-clearing double, the big hit in the bottom of the first inning. And the offering. That's a fastball upstairs, 2-0. Gomez has thrown 32 pitches. Only 13 of those have been strikes. So the Mustangs have to be patient to get back into the game. The pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Gutierrez. 2 balls and 1 strike. There is 1 out. In the top of the second, the Mustangs are the visiting team for this game on their home field because this was supposed to be played on Tuesday at Longmont. And the offering. And that bounces in, and blocked by Gutierrez, picks it up, and the runners advance on a wild pitch. Well, Fort Morgan now with an opportunity to tack on at least a run, if not 2. 3 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, this has the makings of a 2.5-hour game. And the pitch, and that went behind Romero, and it's a walk. Back to the top of the order, Charlie Langford's baseball quote from Mr. Baseball. We're not athletes, we're baseball players. Oh, hold on. No? Hold on, what do we have here? Is that Angel Lopez? Looks like Angel Lopez is stepping in. Angel Lopez will be the batter. Okay, so he's going to hit. Wind and pitch. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Not sure what happened there with Langford, but he has been replaced at this portion of the game by Angel Lopez. The offering. Swing and a miss. He's being overmatched right now. It's 0-2. Yeah, I have no idea, but nonetheless, he's the hitter because Trey Romero is on deck, so the lineup is correct. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch fouled to the backstop. Remains at 0-2. Redding at third, Carrera at second, Romero at first. That's Chase Romero. 7-1 Skyline. 1 out, top of the second inning in Fort Morgan. Grayson Gomez with an 0-2 pitch to Lopez. Fouled. He stuck his bat out and got it to the back of the screen there. Remains at 0-2. And now Gomez all of a sudden starting to find the zone. At no balls and 2 strikes. Laying down the sign is Emilio Gutierrez. The offering in the dirt on the off-speed pitch. 1-2. If Lopez can just make some contact on the ground, it would score a run. The pitch. Fastball called, strike 3 down the middle at the knees. Lopez strikes out, 2 down. Well, Trey Romero has made solid contact throughout the course of both games. Big opportunity for him. His baseball quote, "You guys are guests in my corn from Field of Dreams." Can he come through and get on perhaps our top 3? The pitch. Swung on, line towards center field. That one is going to be caught by Canar. He had him played perfectly, but the ball was well struck by Trey Romero. The Mustangs come up empty. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, bases left loaded. Let's head to the bottom of the second in 60 seconds. Skyline 7, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
B106.
10-1 Skyline as we head to the third inning. And Coach Langford made changes to the left side of the infield after the first inning. So here we go with David Keller, his movie quote for this at bat from Bull Durham. I'm just happy to be here. What we do at the end of the game, we give our top 3 baseball movie quotes based on the player who either made a big play offensively or defensively, and then we assign a winner. Game 1 in the 9-2 loss, Charlie Langford, a great defensive play into shallow left field. Pride of the Yankees. I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. So, top of the 3rd, Keller against Grayson Gomez. Keller, in his first at bat, lined to second. Wind and pitch. And that's a strike with a breaking ball. On the outer half, it's 0-1. Jason Diaz will hit next. And the offering. Swung on and lifted towards center field. Jonathan Canar is coming on. And he makes the one-handed grab. 1 out. Jason Diaz walked in his first at bat. Fort Morgan actually led this game 1-0 after half an inning. Here's the wine and offering for the right-hander. That's a fastball that rides inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Thanks to all of our sponsors. The offering. Swung on and grounded to short. Nice tricky hop, but fielded and firing to first for the out is J.D. Wright. Got a strong arm, 2 down. When looking to buy or sell your home, use a realtor you can count on. Cornerstone Brokers in Fort Morgan and Brush. Ask for Daylene or Stacy. Here's Noah Aguirre, who popped out his first time up. The offering. Strike with a fastball in the inside corner. Gomez now into a rhythm. He really labored in the first inning plus, but now just firing strikes with 2 down and the bases empty. Gomez gets the sign from Gutierrez, and the pitch. Breaking ball is lifted into shallow left center field. The shortstop right on the edge of the grass makes the grab, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Grayson Gomez. 2.5 complete. Skyline 10, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
If your plumbing's not working.
Looks like Joseph Layden is the new pitcher for Fort Morgan. Previous 2 movie quotes we never got to because they were quick outs. For Jason Diaz from $1 Million Arm, baseball is very hard. And for Noah Aguirre from Major League, win the whole thing. Defensive quote here for the Mustangs from 8 men out. If you don't feel like you're going to live forever. Now, it doesn't sound like a quote, but that's what it is. So, again, more changes for the Mustangs. Yeah, there's not a single starter out there in the infield. They shifted everybody except Diaz behind the plate. So Layden is the new pitcher. We'll see if we can get some numbers on some of these guys. Yeah, Lopez is at second base. That we do know for sure. But with Fort Morgan down 10-1, Coach Langford getting some of his other players some experience. The pitch, down and in. 1 ball and no strikes to Emilio Gutierrez, a double and a walk. Looks like Keller would be back in center and Romero in right. The offering. Swung on, line on one, hop, a dive and a base hit. Lopez laid out for that one, but a base hit. And now running to second, Gutierrez to throw the slide, and he's going to be out by a mile. He tried to catch the Mustangs napping, and the throw was made, nailing Gutierrez at second base. Well, he got really confident, overconfident. Yeah, he really tried to catch the Mustangs off balance there. A strike to Connor Ormsby, a fielder's choice, and he lined out 8-6 as Gutierrez was thrown out at second. The pitch, that's outside. The count is at 1-1. Skyline won the first game 9-2, 10-1 after a 7-run first inning in the second game. The offering, that's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The stretch and the pitch in the dirt. Count is at 2-2 to the number 4 hitter in the lineup. Ormsby at 0 for 2. 2-run homer in game 1. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Yeah, Skyline wants to make this a 5-inning game. They're up by 9, and they're the home team for this game. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases empty. At the belt is Layden. The pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the right. Yeah, all Joseph has to do is just throw strikes. That's what he's doing right now. Just throw strikes and get off that field and get back into the dugout and try to get some hits and runs. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Layden strikes out one of the better hitters in the lineup, Connor Ormsby. 2 outs.
Now batting for the Falcons, number 8, Grayson Gomez.
Grayson Gomez hit by a pitch and singled. Again, concessions are open, and that's going to be throughout the course of the season. We ran down the menu in game 1, the pitch, and that goes right through the glove of, and under the glove of Diaz to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes. Skyline has been very good early today. A 2-run homer in the first inning of the first game, and then 7 runs in the first inning of the second game. Gomez has been on base twice. The offering, a strike with a fastball at the knees. It's 1-1. Diaz lays down the sign. Layden to the plate. Breaking ball bounces in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the stretch. And the offering. Swung on and grounded left side, headed for left field. That's a base hit. Gomez now 2 for 2. And Skyline has their 9th hit of game 2. And Matt Lanier has been a terror. As he steps in, the courtesy runner will be J.D. Wright. Matt Lanier has got 2 doubles in this game, including a 3-run double. Got to watch out for this guy. Step off by Layden. Now back on the rubber, but Lanier steps out. Since 2003, Western Engineering Consultants has been providing big firm product with small firm relationships. Visit westerneci.com for more. The pitch, and that bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Matt Lanier. The stretch by late in the pitch. Runner going. That's a strike. Throw to second up the shortstop side. An easy stolen base for J.D. Wright. Yeah, they're trying to go up by 10. The stretch. And the offering. That's a strike. Excellent pitch. Two balls and one strike to Lanier. Layden looks back. Layden steps off. It's been a big day for Skyline. They've outscored the Mustangs 19-3 today, 9-2 in game one. The pitch. Foul to the backstop, and the count is at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a man at second. In the bottom of the third inning of game two, Layden at the belt. To the plate. Swung on, grounded foul along the right side. Count remains at 2-2 to Matt Lanier. I've got a birthday shutout, a very special birthday shout out to get to in just a little bit. Layden at the belt looks back. The offering. Popped foul, and out of play off to the left. This is a battle. And it stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Skyline has scored in, the last 6 innings dating back to game 1. Runner off of second. The pitch. Down and away. 3-2 to Matt Lanier with Logan Trosper on deck. A very dangerous left-handed hitter for Skyline. Joseph Layden to the plate. Swung on, drilled high and deep into right center field. And that one's going to take a big bounce and crash up against the bottom of the fence. Around first is Lanier into second. Wright scores. And Skyline is on the board again. It's a 2-out RBI double for Matt Lanier, his 3rd double of the game. Skyline leads in the bottom of the 3rd inning, 11-1. Here comes Logan Trosper. 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. Quick stretch here and a step off. Happy birthday to my great buddy, Brad Shelton. Used to call him Brad Ulysses Shelton, but Ulysses is not his real middle name. It's just me being a clown. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Yeah, because my middle name is Anthony. I like that, and there's something about Ulysses. It's like a position or a name of importance. Maybe because the only Ulysses we've ever heard of is Grant. Ulysses S. Grant. No balls and 1 strike. Skyline with a 10-run lead. Layden looks back to the plate. In the dirt, blocked by Diaz, and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. 7 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third. Mustangs had a 1-0 lead, then Skyline just started pouring it on. The pitch. Blocked again by Diaz. 2 balls and 1 strike. Once again, Skyline is the home team for game 2. If they keep Fort Morgan off the board, all they need is 6 outs, and they win it in abbreviated fashion. The pitch. Over but low. 3-1. Evan Gale is on deck. The offering. A strike at the knees with a fastball from Layden. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Fort Morgan had their entire infield taken out after no more than 2 innings. Swung on and lifted to right field. Chase Romero to his left, spots it and makes the catch. And the inning is finally over. Felt like Skyline scored more than 1, but that's all they got. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors and a man left. We head to the 4th inning. Skyline is 6 outs away from a sweep. Skyline 11, Fort Morgan 1 on B106. and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Whether you're the master of
Let's head to the fourth inning. I'm John Beltran, live from Eddie Underwood Field. Chase Redding will step in. Top of the fourth inning, Skyline leads 11-1 after winning game one over Fort Morgan 9-2. It'll be Redding followed by Layden. Redding walked, and his baseball movie quote for this at bat from Rookie of the Year: pitcher's got a big butt. So far, we only have one candidate. Pitch is a ball from Grayson Gomez. 11 runs on 10 hits for Skyline. They've committed 2 errors, a run on a hit for Fort Morgan. They've made 5 errors. The offering. Fastball is up and in. Yeah, the Mustangs do not score a run. This game would be over in 4.5 innings. They need at least a run and then hold down Skyline. 2-0 pitch. A ball. Fastball below the knees, 3-0. Now, all you want to see in this game is strikes on both sides. It gets very difficult to play a game like this when you're just walking players, and that one is looked pretty good from here, but called a ball. Redding walks. Here's Layden. People will come, Ray. People will come from Field of Dreams. So Layden will step in. Redding with a conservative lead at first. And the pitch swung on and lifted into shallow right field for Connor Ormsby. He makes the grab. Back to first is Redding, 1 out. Jaden Carrera will now hit. Only a freshman. Had a base hit. Well, actually, it was, I don't believe he was in that spot the first time up. But there was a base hit in this spot to stretch. And the offering. And that's down and away with a heater. 1 ball and no strikes. Redding off of first with a short lead. Throw back to first. Yeah, normally when you have this big of a lead, the pitcher doesn't even worry about runners on the bases because they know if they just get outs, that's their main level of concentration. Swung on and lined and caught by the second baseman on a dive to his left. An excellent play by Hufford. 2 down. That ball was hit hard, but an excellent play. Back to first is Redding. Here's Chase Romero, who walked in his first plate appearance. That was an all-star play by Hufford on a ball that was well struck by Carrera. The pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes to Chase Romero. The board says the 3rd inning. The stretch and the pitch. A little bit high, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Man, that was a big-time fastball thrown by Grayson Gomez. 2 balls and 1 strike to the senior. Romero started in center, now in right field, which was his position in game 1. Short lead at first. Gomez to the plate. Fastball inside. Angel Lopez is on deck. 3 balls and 1 strike. I don't know why those lights are on in left field. The lights should be off. They should not be on. Your headlights. Whoever's parked in left field. And the pitch. And that's low off the glove of Gutierrez. I'm surprised nobody's caught that. Headlights should not be on when they're facing the field. It doesn't matter whether it's left, center, or right, but that's always been the rule. Here's Angel Lopez. Struck out looking his first time up. He had the bases loaded and 1 out when he was up there. Gomez to the plate. Fouled to the backstop. It's 0-1. Quote for him. let's see, for the previous hitter, it was how can you not be romantic about baseball? This one for love of the game for Angel Lopez. We'll read it in just a second. The pitch in the dirt. And tonight I think he might be able to use that aching old arm one more time to push the sun back up in the sky and give us one more day of summer. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lopez. 11-1 Skyline. 2 on, 2 out in the 4th inning. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball, and it's 1-2. Yeah, there's still lights on down the right field line. Those should be off. Anybody who's watching the game in a vehicle, the lights should be off and not facing the field, the headlights. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Lopez strikes out. Mustangs denied in the 4th inning. No runs on no hits. They strand 2, 3.5 complete. In Game 2, Skyline 11, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Buildings by Design stripes.
Well, now Jesus Franco's at second base. Angel Lopez is in right. So, again, changes all across the board starting in the 1st inning. Skyline leads 11-1. The pitch. Swung on and popped foul and out of play off to the left. Joseph Layden throwing to Evan Gale. Gale reached on an air and popped out. Skyline was 0 for 5 before today's action. They're about to sweep Fort Morgan. The pitch. Breaking ball is a strike. A beautiful pitch from Joseph Layden. It is 0-2. Followed by J.D. Wright and Jonathan Canar. The offering. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To the left-handed hitting Evan Gale. He had a 2-run homer in Game 1. The pitch. Fouled off to the left. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Skyline has outscored Fort Morgan 20-3 in these 2 games. Swung on, line towards center field, coming on and making the grab. Should be Keller out there, 1 down. All the changes out there, got to make sure what's happening. All right, the defensive baseball quote is, God, I love baseball from the natural. Anybody makes a play. Looks like we only have 1 candidate so far for the entire game because it's been such a one-sided game. On the Mustang side, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice fastball thrown. Let's see. That's, no, that's not. That didn't look like J.D. Wright. Let's see who that is. 1 ball, no strike. It's Colin Wright. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. 0-2 to Colin Wright. Bottom of the 4th inning. Skyline, the home team for Game 2. Pitch by Layden. Breaking ball is just outside. Yeah, Layden has thrown the ball pretty well. Pitching to some contact. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The offering. Fouled by Colin Wright. Well, the Mustangs will have some work to do. It's early on in the season. They've got Frederick on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. Brian Nick will have the call on B106. The pitch. Bounces in, blocked by Diaz. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And really the 2 catchers today, Baker and Diaz. I mean, when you're giving up runs, there's a lot of wear and tear on the body behind the plate. Done a nice job. And fisted foul towards the dugout on the first base side. Especially with all the base on balls. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. Bottom of the 4th inning, Skyline 11, Fort Morgan 1. The pitch. Fouled off to the right. Cued it out there behind the Skyline dugout. It remains at 2-2. The good thing, when you're losing big time, it does give the younger players some experience, which they do need, no doubt. Layden stretches. Layden to the plate. Swing and a miss and a strikeout of Colin Wright. 2 down. That'll bring up Jonathan Canar.
Now batting for the Falcons,
Well,
Number 2, Jonathan Canar.
Kanar, quite frankly, has been a nightmare. He was 2 for 2 in the first game, or 2 for 3, swung on and driven into the right center field, got caught by the second baseman off the end of the bat. I thought that thing had some carry, caught by Franco. He hit it off the end of the bat, but it looked like it was headed much further. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Joseph Layden. Nice job by Layden. Let's head to the 5th inning. The Mustangs need a run to extend the game. It's Skyline 11, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Oscar Ramirez will lead off for the Mustangs in the top of the 5th inning. Trailing Skyline 11-1. The Mustangs need a run to extend the game. Grayson Gomez looking to go the distance. The pitch, and he bounces it in. 1 ball and no strikes. David Keller is on deck. And the offering. Swung on and fisted slowly on the ground. Going to be a tough play. Charging, setting, throwing on the run for the out is Samuel Carmona. Nice play by the Skyline third baseman. 1 out. Here is David Keller, who is lined out and popped out. He's 0 for 2. Well, that movie quote for that hitter was "There's no crying in baseball." Now, this guy here is dead for Keller. When they were looking over the Indians roster from the movie Major League, that pitch is a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to David Keller. 1 out, top of the 5th inning, 11-1 Skyline. Swung on and popped foul and out of play. Count levels at 1-1. The first game took 2 hours and 20 minutes. This game's an hour 20 old, and we could be done if the Mustangs do not get back on the board. Down by 10 against Skyline in Fort Morgan. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a sweeping bender. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That had some action. Gomez has thrown just 69 pitches. Looking in, and the pitch. Fastball is down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We knew that Skyline with that 0-5 record was better than the record indicated. The pitch, and that is lifted foul territory, right side. Gutierrez giving chase, and he made the running catcher. No, he dropped it. Oh, man. Oh, that's a good thing for Keller. Looked like it was almost caught by the catcher, Gutierrez, but couldn't squeeze it. So Keller has another shot at 2-2. Yeah, nothing Gale, the first baseman, could do. That was too close to the dugout. He couldn't get over there, but Gutierrez did and nearly made the catch. Let's see if Keller can capitalize. The offering. Swung on and lifted right side. Gale into foul territory. Is going to make the grab for the out. 2 down. Here is Jason Diaz trying to extend the game. Diaz has walked and grounded out. It's incredibly hard, the game of baseball. It's incredibly hard by Moneyball. That's the quote here for Diaz. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul down the right side. Long run for Gale, and he nearly got there, but it's strike 1. Also giving chase was Ormsby in right field. Gomez has only struck out 2 Mustang hitters. Mustangs have been making contact, but just not in the spots they want. Pitch. Swung on, lined off the pitcher's foot, and towards the shortstop, picked up. The throw to first is going to be, it cannot be scooped up. It's low. Now let's see if Gomez is okay. It'll be a base hit. Oh, man, Diaz hit that ball scorchingly hard. And nearly an incredible play was made by Wright, but I think it got him in the left cleat. That's one of the hardest hit balls in the entire game, and then on the entire day. That thing was tattooed. So Diaz is going to get on the list based on that at bat alone for maybe the baseball movie quote of the game, because that thing was tattooed. He's going to be okay. Here's Noah Aguirre. He's popped out twice. Here's the stretch and the offering, and that bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes. If Fort Morgan scores a run, we'll play more baseball in the bottom of the 5th inning. I mean, that ricocheted right to the shortstop, and Wright nearly made the play. If the throw was there, he would have got him, but it still scored a base hit. The pitch. Fastball inside. 2-0. Looks like, is that Lopez or Franco on deck? That's Jesus Franco on deck. He might get a chance to hit. If Aguirre reaches, you'll place a runner in scoring position. Gomez to the plate. That's a fastball for a strike. It's 2-1. With that base hit from Jason Diaz, the Mustangs have 2 hits in the game. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 down, 11-1 Skyline. Top of the 5th inning. The pitch. Fastball rides inside. It's 3-1. To Noah Aguirre. Stretched by Gomez and the offering. Oh, he bounced it in there. Ugly pitch. Aguirre walks. Here comes Jesus Franco. Well, again, you score a run and you play some more baseball. I mean, the chances of winning are virtually nothing is impossible, but you're playing a team that is really stacked here in Skyline. 1st and 2nd, 2 down in the 5th. The pitch swung on, line down the right field line, but it's foul. Twisting foul, not a play. If that's fair, would have scored a run, but it was 10 feet foul. No balls and 1 strike. I'm sure Skyline wants to go home. They'll get home a lot sooner if they can win it now. Be home before 10 o'clock, unless they stop somewhere to eat. No balls, 1 strike. Skyline broke it open early with 7 runs in the 1st inning. Stretch. The pitch. Fastball is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gomez recorded the first 2 outs of the 5th inning. Then Diaz hit a screamer right off the cleat of Gomez before the walk was issued to Noah Aguirre. The pitch. Fastball, strike on the inner half. It's 1-2 to Jesus Franco. Diaz and Aguirre on the bases. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The stretch and the offering. Swing and a miss on the ball in the dirt. They'll have to throw him out. Gutierrez sets, throws, and the game is over as Franco strikes out. And in 1 hour and 26 minutes, Skyline wins Game 2 by a score of 11-1. We'll take a 1-minute break. We'll tell you about the baseball movie quote of the game right after this on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Skyline Falcons have swept the doubleheader from the Fort Morgan Mustangs. They won Game 1 by a score of 9-2. That one went the full 7 innings, and in Game 2 and 4.5 innings as the home team, they win by a count of 11-1. The Mustang postgame show brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Get a full plan of seed, food, and water for your field. Now is the time to begin your planning for next year's growing season. Call Dusty or Roxy, 970-571-2024. Advanced Agri Solutions. 11 runs on 10 hits, 2 errors, 5 left on base for Skyline. 1 run, 2 hits, 5 errors. 8 left on base for Fort Morgan. The winning pitcher was Grayson Gomez. The loss went to David Keller. Again, 1 hour and 26 minutes is what it took to play this game. Mustangs got an unearned run in the 1st inning. Bottom of the 1st inning, Emilio Gutierrez with an RBI double. And that tied the game at 1. Then Matt Lanier had a bases-clearing double to make it 4-1. Logan Trosper with a run-scoring single. Evan Gale reached on an error. And then another run scored on Jonathan Kennard's RBI single to make it 7-1. Essentially, they just kept going with an a run-scoring ground out by Logan Trosper in the second inning. Mustangs had too many errors in that inning as Kanar capped it off with an RBI single, a 3-run second, and that was it. The Mustangs fall to 3-5. Check that, 3-4. And Skyline now at 2-5 via the 11-1 victory. Only a couple of candidates for the baseball movie quote of the game based on a Mustang performance. In the number 2 spot, it came from David Keller, bottom of the first inning, when he threw out the runner at the plate on a nice play from the mound. For the love of the game, we're the best team in baseball right now, right this minute, because of you, David Keller. But the winner for Game 2 just happened in the top of the 5th inning. It came from Jason Diaz for the movie Moneyball. It's incredibly hard. So if you want a food voucher to a future game here, concessions, I'll take care of you. Just send an email with your name, Jason Diaz's name, the movie Moneyball, and the quote, "It's incredibly hard," to john@necolorado.com. The first one I get will get a food voucher. JOHN, John at NE for Northeast Colorado, john@necolorado.com. Your name, the name of the Mustang player, Jason Diaz, the movie Moneyball, and the quote, "It's incredibly hard." Mustangs are back in action coming up on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock, with Brian Nickel right here on B106, as they will take on the Frederick Golden Eagles. A tough day for the Mustang baseball team. I'm John Beltran. The final score of this doubleheader from Legion Field. Skyline wins Game 1 9-2 and Game 2 by a score of 11-1 on B106, B106.com, and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.